بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. عن أم فروة رضي الله عنها قالت سئل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أي الأعمال أفضل؟ قال الصلاة في أول وقتها. رواه أبو داود. Farwa radiallahu anha narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was asked, which is the best of good deeds? Which is the best of good deeds? So he alayhi salatu wasalam replied, to offer salat at the beginning of its prescribed time. To offer salat as soon as the time enters. This is one of the greatest of good deeds, meaning all of those deeds that have to do with our worships. Amongst them, the best is this one, praying salat as soon as the time enters. Now what happens is sometimes salat time enters and we're not prepared because we haven't planned for it, we haven't thought about it, that salat time is going to come in, even though a believer's mind is constantly on their salat. It is the most important part of their day. So if we become negligent in our salat, then we've become negligent in our deen. So planning ahead and preparing, just like if we know that we have to be in class in the morning, for example, at 8:20, as an example. We're not going to start thinking about getting to class or leaving our homes when it's 8:20. We will have made arrangements to be there, to be in class. That means we leave as early as we have to, we prepare as early as we have to, and so things happen in a timely way. Similarly, salat is the greatest obligation upon us in our deen. If a person is not thinking about it, they're thinking about going to school, but they're not thinking about praying salat, it means that their iman is at an extremely low level and it's about to fade away. It's like their iman is about to go, because the last barrier between Islam and kufr is salat. Once that barrier is gone, there's nothing stopping them from just tipping over to the other side. So praying salat when the time enters is a sign that we're connected, we're prepared to deal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the way that He expects from us. And allowing the time of salat to keep passing, so much so that it gets close to the end of time, then this is a sign that we have so many other priorities, but standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala isn't one of them yet, even though He is the one we have to stand up in front of and face on the Day of Judgment. And at that time, none of the things that we're doing, none of the activities, programs, pastimes that we're engaged in will be able to save us. They will not be able to do anything for us. So the first thing is diligence in salat. One of the ways to do that is to prepare for salat ahead of time and pray it as soon as the time comes in. And this rule is universal for all conditions in our lives. Today you are here, mashallah, in this musalla. We have adhan, we have a place for wudu, and there's a time given to you out of your day, especially for praying salat. But when you leave from here, those same arrangements aren't necessarily in place. You may be at home, You may be outside at the shopping center. You may be doing something else. But the same rules apply. And it will not always be that you have a facility and a time and a system that allows you to pray or facilitates your salat. In fact, most of your lives will be without such a support system. So our goal is to prepare for that here and now, so that no matter where we are in the world, no matter what it is that we're doing, tomorrow you'll be in college, in university, and you'll be out and about doing your things, you'll be earning a living, you'll be traveling, you'll be doing all kinds of things. The habits that are formed now will stay. So yes, many of us are able to pray because we have a system in school that facilitates our salat at this time. But how many of us are prepared to pray once we leave from here? How many are praying? And how many are praying on time? What about Fajr? What about Fajr? The hadith says that a person who prays Fajr Salat is in the protection of Allah. In the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is why Salat must constantly be on our minds. It must be something that we're constantly thinking about, planning for, preparing for, and something that we are ready so that whenever the time comes, there is no excuse. And the fact is that there's no real excuse for most people going through their lives. Being at the shopping center is not an excuse. Going out to eat at a restaurant is not an excuse. Going out to play with friends is not an excuse. Traveling is not an excuse. Even being sick is not an excuse. Yes, all of these conditions are facilitated. They're accommodated in Deen. You get leniencies when you're traveling. You get leniencies when you're sick. If you can't stand up, it's okay, you pray sitting down. You can't sit up, it's okay, pray lying down. There are many, many facilities given to us and accommodations, but we do not compromise our salat for anything or anyone. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the understanding and tawfiq. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in.